Morning, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for joining me as usual. There's that backyard soundtrack I was telling you about, the sirens going by. So again, music in your own room is perfectly fine if that helps you with your practice. If you have blocks or books or something solid to use in your practice, it's always nice to have. I don't know that we'll use them for sure today, but it's always a great option. Yoga blanket or just any type of blanket can be handy as well. We're just going to work today pretty gentle, hips, hamstrings, some spinal mobility, just bringing, bringing movement, bringing fluidity back to some of the main structures in our bodies. We'll start this morning on our backs. So find your way down to your back. We'll start in constructive rest. So bend your knees, plant your feet on the floor about as wide as your mat, and allow the knees to knock in towards center. The arms can go comfortably wide, palms face up. The eyes can close. As you arrive on your back, on your mat, and in your body, take this opportunity to connect to the breath. Take a deep inhale through the nose, a full exhale out through the mouth. Deep, smooth inhale through the nose, fill up the belly, the ribs, the chest. Open mouth exhale, let it go as you connect even deeper to the body. One more like that. Full inhale through the nose. Imagine filling up in 360 degrees all the way up to the crown of the head. Open mouth exhale, sigh it out. Continue to breathe in through the nose and seal the lips. Breathe out through the nose. Take these first moments here just to connect with yourself. Notice how it feels to be in your body in this moment, at this time. Notice how it feels to be in your mind today. And finally, notice how it feels to be in your heart and in your emotions. And so we come to this practice not to change anything, not to make anything good, bad, right, wrong, but rather to notice what is in this moment and find a way to be okay. The fact that we aren't practicing in our studio, the fact that we are isolated in our homes, the fact that the economy is shut down. Can you find space for all of that to be okay, or even more than okay? Place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. Just notice the movement of the breath, the beating of the heart. Notice your aliveness in this moment. All together we offer up the fruits of this practice, the fruits of our time together for the benefit of not only ourselves, but of all living beings. Take a full breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. And keep the eyes closed or open them if you prefer. Take the arms wide. And separate the knees. We'll keep the feet fairly wide on the mat. We'll start with just some windshield wipers. So take an inhale. On your exhale, allow both knees to fall to the left. See if you can get the knees all the way to the floor. So no rush in this movement. On your inhale, draw both knees back to center. And then on your exhale, both knees windshield wiper to the right. Again, see if you can touch the knees to the floor. Do that a few more times. Inhale to center. Exhale, both knees fall all the way to the left. The right hip can peel up off the floor a bit if it needs. Inhale to center. Exhale, both knees fall to the left. Let's go one more time each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Come back to center. We'll play with a little bit of internal rotation now. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. Use the weight of your right ankle to pull the left knee towards the right. So pause here. Left leg in internal rotation, knee moving towards the floor. See if you can actively press the right ankle into the left knee. Take a full breath in. A full breath out. Now use your right ankle to resist your left leg and pull the left leg back to center. Pause at the top. And then one more time, use your right ankle to pull the left knee down towards the floor. Press the ankle into the knee into the ankle. Feel the inner line of the thigh start to fire up and engage. And one more time, resist the knee with the ankle and peel the left knee back up to center. And uncross the right ankle over the left knee. Pause and just notice the difference between the left thigh and the right thigh, the left hip and the right hip. Then we'll go the other side. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Right foot is still fairly wide to the edge of the mat. And then pull the left knee into, or rather pull the right knee into internal rotation using the force of the left ankle and the left leg. Once you move the right leg into internal rotation, resist. So left foot presses down, right knee presses up, just waking up the muscles that move the thigh, move the hip into this position. And then again, resist the knee with the ankle and pull the right knee back up to its starting position. Pause at the top. And then one more time, use the left ankle to peel the right knee down towards the floor. A couple of breaths here. Left foot presses down, right knee presses up. Just notice where you feel sensation in the body. And then again, resist the knee with the foot and peel the right knee back to its starting position. Uncross the left ankle from the right knee. Plant both feet on the floor and just notice what you feel. Step the feet a little bit closer together so they're outer hips distance apart. Bring the arms down by the side. See if you can tickle the heels with your fingertips. On your inhale, press into your feet, tilt the tailbone for the knees, and roll the spine up one vertebra at a time to bridge pose. And then as you exhale, one bone at a time, set the spine back down onto the floor as you lower the hips. Can you really tilt the tailbone towards the heels? Inhale, press down, roll the spine up. See if you can feel each individual vertebra as it lifts. The hips lift, the feet press down, the glutes engage. And then one bone at a time, curl the tailbone down towards the heels. Slowly articulate the spine back down onto the mat. Let's go one more time. Pause at the bottom. Tilt the tailbone for the heels. Lift the tailbone first, then the low back, then the mid back, then into the upper back towards the neck. Pause at the top in bridge pose. And one vertebra at a time, roll the spine back down to the floor. Draw both knees into the chest. Give the knees a squeeze as you exhale. And grab the top of the knees, moving into Apanasana, wind-relieving pose. On your inhale, move the knees away from the chest, straighten the arms. On your exhale, squeeze the knees into the chest. Do that a few times. Inhale, lengthen the arms, move the knees away. Exhale, curl the knees in. Let's go 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale, compress. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, compress. Last time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, compress. And set both feet back on the floor. Roll to your right or your left side and make your way up to tabletop position, all fours. Turn around. We'll go shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Pause here, spread the fingers wide, press the earth away, engage the belly towards the spine. Let's take just a few rounds here of wrist circles. So we'll move first to the left. I'm just starting to warm up sensation in the wrists and in the hands. And then we'll go back to the right. And then you're more than welcome to just add some movements in here. This doesn't have to be just circles. Let's take the next few breaths and just move your body in any way that feels good. So that might be side to side, that might be circular, that might be traditional cat-cow. Just take the next few moments to continue to move into your container, your home, this physical body that you occupy. Again, notice any sensation, notice any stagnation, any stuck energy or feeling in the body. And over the next couple rounds of breath, start to make your way back towards neutral tabletop. We'll start to fire up the deep core muscles. So tabletop, find really a solid press of the hands down into the earth. Draw the low belly up towards the spine. We'll start with some bird dog to activate the muscles of the deep core as well as the spine. So on your inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. And as you reach your right leg back behind you, notice if the right hip wants to open up towards the sky. Can you keep the pelvis square? So only take the right leg as high as you can go without lifting the right side of the pelvis. Press firmly down through the right hand, draw the belly towards the spine, and then reach the left arm long in front of you. Extend from the right heel through the left fingertips. Press the right arm down, draw the right shoulder away from the ear, draw the belly button towards the spine. We'll hold here, 5 breaths. Again, notice if the pelvis wants to open up. Can you square it towards the floor? Notice if the spine wants to round or arc. Can you keep it steady and firm? 3 more breaths. And so we're not moving, but you'll start to feel this in the belly, in the spine. 1 more inhale. On your exhale, release. Set the right knee down, the left hand down. Reset your tabletop, so shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, flat back, strong belly. On your inhale, take the left leg back behind you. Again, notice if the hips and the pelvis want to open up, square the left side of the pelvis towards the floor. Reach back through the left heel, firm the left arm, and then reach the right arm straight in front of you. Spin the left bicep forward. Reach from your hip through your left heel, from your hip through your right fingertips. Draw the right shoulder down away from the ear. Firm the belly towards the spine. 5 breaths. Full inhales. Long, smooth exhales. Three more. And so notice any shaking, any wobbling. That's okay. Just means you're working. Take 1 more breath in. And then on your exhale, set the left knee down, set the right hand down, reset your tabletop. Moving a bit further into the spine, plant your left hand down. On your inhale, reach the right arm open and up. On your exhale, thread the needle, but we're going to stay up on the left arm. So reach the right arm as far to the left as you can. We're going to move through this a few times. Inhale, twist open and up. Exhale, reach the right arm underneath as far to the left as you can. 3 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist. 1 more here. Inhale, open. On your twist, stay twisted. Reach the right fingertips to the left. Press firmly into the left hand. Take a full breath in. A full breath out. And then on your inhale, untwist back to the right. Set the right hand down. Pause for a moment. Just notice the spine, notice the sensations. Reset your tabletop, firm your right arm. On your inhale, twist the left arm open and up. Exhale, reach the left arm through and under. Inhale, twist open to the left. Exhale, twist closed to the right. 3 more. Two more. Last one, twist open on your inhale. Twist to the right on your exhale. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Reach as far to the right as you can. Firm the hips over the knees. Take a full inhale. A full exhale. Inhale, twist open and up. And exhale, set the left hand down. Tabletop. Pause for an inhale here. On your exhale, send the hips back. Child's pose. Reach the arms long in front of you. Really energize through the arms. So tent up the fingertips. Wrap the outer arms down towards the floor. Feel the shoulder blades broaden. Here for 2 breaths. Full inhale. Full exhale. Energize the arms. On your inhale, come back to tabletop. On your exhale, tuck the toes under, send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. First downward dog of the practice. Maybe your first down dog of the day. So take a few breaths here. Move, shift. explore the pose today. So even if this is a pose you've done 1,000 times or 10,000 times before, you've never done the pose in this way, in this moment. So notice sensations, notice how the legs feel, how the spine feels, how the arms and the shoulders feel. Bend the knees if you need to. Maybe there's some space for the legs to go straight today. Not really worried about the heels touching the floor, but more so concerned about length through the spine. And then over the next couple of breaths, settle into stillness. Take a full inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhale through the nose. 2 more breaths. Take 1 more inhale. On your exhale, walk your hands backwards to meet your feet. Come to a forward fold at the back of your mat. Land with the feet hips width distance. You can bend the knees a lot or a little. Maybe the arms hang heavy towards the floor. Maybe you grab opposite wrist with opposite elbow. And just take a few breaths to hang heavy here. You might move. You might shift. Maybe the head nods yes and shakes no. Feed your weight down into the foundation of your feet. And then release the fingertips to the floor. Keep that bend in your knees. Slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. Roll the spine up to sit. Head and neck are the last to rise. Shoulders roll up, roll back, and roll down. Take a moment here. Stand in Tadasana. Strong legs, strong belly. Lift up through the crown of the head. Close the eyes. Notice the breath. Notice the beating of your heart. Notice even in the midst of uncertainty, you have your own strength to stand in. You have the strength and the support of community around you. Draw the hands to heart center. Take a full breath in through the nose. A full breath out through the nose. Release the arms down by the sides. We'll take a few half sun salutations. So strong legs, stand tall. On your inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, reach them up and overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. On your exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flatten the back, reach your heart forward, lengthen the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, heart towards the knees, bend the knees as much as you need, Uttanasana. Strong legs. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep the arms up and overhead, maybe the palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti. Round 2, inhale, reach up, look up, grow tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips, dive forward. Inhale, flatten the back, lengthen the spine, shine your heart to the front of the room. Exhale, bow forward over the thighs, forward fold. Strong legs, rise to stand, reach up, look up, grow tall. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastiti. Let's go 2 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to stand. Exhale, hands to heart. 1 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise, grow tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Pause, close the eyes. Notice a little bit more energy, a little bit more life. Release the arms down by the sides. Move into some standing work for the hamstrings. So come to stand in the middle of your mat, or maybe even towards the top third of your mat. Stand on your right foot, and then step your left foot about maybe 1.5 feet towards the back of your mat. Just depending on your balance, you might stand a little bit more narrow with your feet, so as if you were standing on a tightrope, or you might want to widen your feet a little bit further out as if you were standing on 2 railroad tracks. The toes are facing forward, hips, belly, and chest are facing forward. Draw back on your right hip, forward on your left hip. Pause here and just firm the muscles of the legs. So draw the thighs onto the kneecaps, squeeze the outer hips in, scissor the legs together. Place both hands on the top of the right thigh. On your inhale, lift up through the heart, find almost a little bit of a standing back bend. As you exhale, keep the back flat, reach the heart forward, slide the hands down the right thigh, fold about halfway. Press down through the right foot. Inhale, slide the hands back up the leg as you rise to stand. Exhale, flat back, reach the heart forward, hinge at the hips as you slide down towards Parvottanasana, pyramid pose. Inhale, slide the hands up. We're going to do this a few times, working into this right hamstring. Exhale, slide forward and down. Inhale, slide up, back to stand. So you'll feel this in the back of the right leg. Exhale, hinge, fold forward. Inhale, hinge, and rise. Let's go 2 more. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. 1 more time. Exhale, down. This time we'll spend a few breaths. So you might stay here with the hands on the shin, reach the heart forward, draw back on your right hip, forward on your left hip. You might have space to fold a little bit deeper. Maybe the fingertips to the floor, maybe the spine rounds, maybe the forehead and the nose come towards the knee. Again, press through the right foot. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Draw back on the right hip, forward on the left hip. 2 more breaths. One more. And then if you fold it all the way down, lift halfway out, come back to that flat back, hands on the thigh, or on the shin rather, and then on your inhale, press through the right foot, engage the right leg, slide up to stand. Step the left foot up to meet the right leg, Tadasana. Take a moment, just notice the difference between your left leg and your right leg. And we'll move to the other side, weight into the left foot, step the right foot back about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet. If you're really flexible in the hamstrings, maybe a bit further, almost the distance of one of your legs in between your feet. And then again, you have options. You might stand on a tightrope. If this balance is a little bit tricky, maybe you widen the stance up. Press down through your right heel, send your right hip forward, draw back on your left hip. So belly, chest, pelvis all squared towards the front of the room. Hand to the top of the left thigh. On your inhale, lift up through the heart. Find almost a standing back bend. Press down through the back foot as you exhale. Hinge at the hips, flat back, slide the hands down the left leg. Press through the left foot. Inhale, slide the hands back up. We'll do that a few times. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep drawing back on your left hip. Inhale, rise. As best you can, keep the back flat, the heart reaching forward. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise. Maybe you find a bit more space to fold each time we go. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise. 2 more. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, hinge up. Last time we're going down to hold. Slide the hands down the leg to the shin. Again, you might stay here with this flat back, the heart reaching forward. You might have space to slide the hands down, maybe touch the fingertips to the floor and fold all the way over the left thigh. The spine can round. Draw back on the left hip. Push through the right heel to send the right hip forward. Press the left foot firmly down into the mat to engage the hamstring as we stretch. 3 breaths. As you inhale, notice tension. As you exhale, can you release that tension? 2 more. Inhale. Notice where the sensation is. Exhale, soften. 1 more breath. And then if you folded, lift halfway up, flatten the back, press through the left foot, firm the belly, and then inhale, hinge, and rise back up to stand. Step the feet together, stand in Tadasana. Just notice the connection between the mind and the backs of your legs. A little bit more life in the hamstrings. Come to stand in the middle of your mat facing the long edge now. So you'll face this way on your mat, just the way that I'm standing here. Take the arms out to the sides and step or jump your feet just about as wide as your wrists. So imagine if there was a string hanging from your wrist, it would hit your ankles. The toes can turn in slightly and stand with the hands on the hips. Firm the legs, so squeeze the feet towards each other. Feel the upper thighs, the outer hips firm. Hands at the hips. On your inhale, find a standing back bend. Lift the heart, draw the shoulders back. On your exhale, hinge and fold part way down, this flat back position again. Press through the feet, firm the legs. Inhale, rise back to stand. We're going to be here for a few rounds. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Inhale, press through the heels, lift the heart up. If this feels easy with the hands at the hips, there's another option. Take the arms out by your sides. Exhale, hinge forward, so adding some weight and some force to contend with. Press through the heels. Inhale, hinge, and rise to stand. Exhale, fold forward, reach through the heart. Keep the spine long and the back flat. Inhale, fold forward. If this feels too easy with the arms at the side, arms straight up overhead. Exhale, hinge forward. A lot more force to contend with now. Reach the heart forward, flatten the back. Inhale, rise to stand. 3 more. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, rise. So do what works for you here. Maybe hands at the hips, maybe hands to the sides. Exhale, hinge, fold forward, keep the spine long. Inhale, rise. This last one we're going to hold, so make a decision that serves you. Arms up, arms to the side, hands at the hips. Take an inhale. On your exhale, hinge, fold forward. Draw the belly towards the spine. Lengthen from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Press the feet firmly. Squeeze the legs together. Take an inhale here. Then on your exhale, fold all the way to the floor. You can release the hands down. crown of the head moves towards the floor. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Reach the tailbone for the ceiling. You might even walk the hands further behind you in between your legs. Take 3 breaths here. Take a full inhale. A full exhale. On your inhale, find a halfway lift. Flatten the back. And then again, those same options, hands to hips, hands to the side, or arms straight out in front. Press through the feet, engage the belly. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Step or jump the feet together. Stand in Tadasana, close the eyes. Just notice the sensation, the work happening in the hamstrings and the hips, in the spine. Slow down the breath. Flutter the eyes open. Come to stand back at the top of your mat once again. So facing the short edge, Tadasana, mountain pose, arms down by the sides. On your inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. On your exhale, hinge forward at the hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, flatten the back. Plant your hands, step the left foot all the way to the back of the mat, and then release the left knee down. Come up to your kneeling lunge. So if you need to pad your left knee, that's fine. Whether it's a blanket or maybe folding one edge of your mat underneath. We're going to be here for a few breaths in our lunge to open up the hip flexor. I'm going to turn to face you just so you can see this a bit better. Bring the hands to the hips. We've done this in class before. Squeeze your legs together and then really tilt your tailbone down. So you can use the hands at the hips and find this tilting of the pelvis backwards and down towards the left heel. You'll feel this start to open up across the front of the left hip flexor. As you tilt the tailbone down, lengthen tall through the crown of the head. Squeeze the right heel back and the left knee forward so the legs are moving towards each other, firming up the hips. Let's hold here. 3 more full cycles of breath. As you inhale, lift tall through the crown of the head. As you exhale, maybe more space to tilt the tailbone down. Take 1 more breath. And then release the hands to the floor. Step the right knee back to meet the left. Tabletop position. Extend the left leg back behind you. We'll work into the glute. Tap the left toes down towards the floor. Take an inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the left glute, kick the left heel towards the ceiling without opening the hips. Inhale, tap the toes to the floor. Exhale, lift the heel towards the ceiling, flatten the back, firm the belly, keep the pelvis square. Inhale, lower. Exhale, kick the heel up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift the heel. 3 more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, heel lifts. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Set the left knee next to the right. Tabletop position. Take a moment here. Just notice the difference between the left side and the right side. Tuck your toes under. Send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Again, notice the difference here between the left side and the right side. Take a full inhale. A full exhale. Inhale, lift the heels, look forward. Exhale, tippy toes, step, jump, float. travel to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to stand, strong legs, sweep the arms up, grow tall. Exhale, release the hands to heart center, Samasthiti. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, hinge at the hips. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the right foot to the back of the mat, lower the right knee down. And again, we'll come up to the same kneeling lunge on this side. So again, pad the knee if you need. Make this stance really precise. So 90-degree bend at the knee, perpendicular thigh to floor, and then same thing, 90 degrees from the hip to the knee down to the floor. Hands to the hips, posterior pelvic tilt. So the tailbone, the pelvis rolls backwards. Start to feel that stretch across the front of the right hip flexor. Squeeze the legs towards each other. So the left heel draws back, the right knee slides forward energetically. Lift and lengthen up through the crown of the head. Keep rolling the tailbone back, keep the legs engaged. Work into this opening of the hip flexor. Take 3 breaths here. Keep the belly engaged, the spine long, and both legs active. Take 1 more breath. Bring the hands down to the mat. Step the left knee back, tabletop. Take the right toes, right leg long behind you. Again, keep the pelvis and the hips square towards the floor. Take an inhale. Exhale, kick the right heel up without opening through the hips. Inhale, release. Exhale, kick through the right heel, squeeze through the right glute. Inhale, lower. Exhale, release. Belly is engaged, spine is long. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So slow, controlled. Take up the full space of the movement. Inhale, lower. 3 more. Exhale to lift. Inhale down. Exhale up. Last time. Inhale, lower the toes. Exhale, lift the heel. Squeeze through the glute. Release the right knee down. Again, notice the difference. Notice the similarity. Send the hips up and back. A couple of breaths here just to study, become aware. Maybe some movement, maybe some bending of the knees and shifting of the hips. And then settle into stillness. 3 breaths. Take 1 more inhale. Exhale, lower the knees to the floor. Send the hips back to the heels. Child's pose. Soften the breath. Soften the body. And make your way up onto your knees. We'll find a seat. If you have a blanket or a block handy, now is a great time to grab that. I don't have a blanket here with me, so I'm just going to sit up on a block. And find your seat up on your prop. We'll meet in Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose, with the soles of the feet together, the knees wide, and the heels fairly close to your pubic bone. If you sit towards the front edge of your prop, you'll find that the prop just rolls your pelvis forward anteriorly slightly, creates a bit more lift through the spine. So use that to your advantage. Press the feet into each other. Take the hands to the top of the knees, and just for a few breaths, press the knees down towards the floor with your hands. So not forcing anything, but using the assistance of the hands to create a bit more space. Keep the feet actively squeezing in towards each other. lift through the spine. Take 2 breaths. Now, keep the hands on the knees, but change the force. So instead of pressing the hands down, press the knees into the hands and resist. So we'll start to activate the internal rotators and the adductors of the hips. So the knees are trying to press up, but you're using the strength of your hands and your arms to resist. 3 breaths. There's a very high possibility that I get rained on while we finish this class. I'm going to cross my fingers and see the clouds rolling in and see what happens. Okay, now we're going to play a bit of tug of war. So allow the knees to win and press the hands towards midline. And allow the hands to win and press the knees back towards the mat. Knees win. Draw the hands in. Hands win and press the knees away. One more time in this direction. Knees win. You'll really feel some heat on the inner thighs, and then hands win. And then release. Sit tall, just notice how the hips feel. We'll change the force again. Hands come to the underside of the knees. Pull up with the hands, press down with the knees. So you'll feel the outer hips start to come online. Just holding this static pose. There is as much work here as you want there to be. So the harder you press into yourself, the more work will be required. 2 breaths here. Keep holding, keep pressing, stay active through the hips. And then that same game of tug of war. Hands win and pull the knees up. Knees win and press the hands down, but resist in both directions. Hands win, but knees resist. And then knees win, hands resist. One more time. Hands win. And knees win. Release. Take the hands in front of the ankles. Sit tall as you inhale. On your exhale, fold forward. Walk the hands as long in front of you as is accessible. The spine can round. Keep the legs just lightly active, so press the feet into each other. Feel the thighs spinning out and down, external rotation in the hip socket. Lengthen the breath. One more full inhale. Full exhale. And walk the hands back in. Sit yourself back up. Use the hands to bring the knees in. You can stay seated up on your prop. Take the legs long in front of you and just shake them out. Walk out the knees. Just give them a jiggle and a wiggle. Take the feet about hips width distance and just a few times internal and external rotation. Turn the toes in and out. One more little sequence here for the hips. Depending on what your floor is like at home, you might be fine where you're at. I'm going to scoot back so my heels land on my mat. Same thing, if you're using a prop, stay with it. So keep sitting up on your block or your blanket. Scoot back so the heels are on the mat if you need some padding. And then one leg at a time, step the feet about as wide as they can go. Again, if you scoot towards the front edge of your prop, you'll find that that edge pushes the pelvis forward so you can lift up out of the spine a little bit more. This is really hard for me. This entire pose, this entire sequence is really difficult. You might find more space in your body to go wider with the legs, might be easier for you to sit up tall. I like the block here because it gives me a few inches of assistance in a pose that I really struggle with. Once you find yourself here, toes point straight up, heels press down, legs are active, thighs spin straight up. On your inhale, reach the right arm up and side bend to the left, lengthen the right side of the body. You can press the left elbow into the left leg. Then rise back to center. Go the other way. Inhale, left arm up, side bend to the right. And back to center. We'll go back and forth a few times. Your inhale takes you into your side bend. Your exhale brings you back to center. Sit tall through the spine. Inhale sweeps you up and over. Exhale brings you back to center. So you might find some more space to fold and to bend each time. Keep the legs active, so the heels pressing down into the floor, the feet flexing, toes pointing straight up. Let's go one more time to each side. Inhale to the left. Exhale to center. Inhale to the right. Exhale to center. Sit tall on your inhale. On your exhale, walk the hands as far forward as you can go. So this is about as far as I can reach. Again, this is tough for me. Keep the toes pointing, the heels pressing down. Lift and lengthen through the spine. The spine can round and flex a bit here. You'll notice some sensation in the hip flexors, right, where the thighs meet the hips. Can you soften that space every time you exhale? So inhale, notice tension. Exhale, release. You might uncover a bit more space to reach further forward. If you're really flexible here, you might be able to reach all the way down to the floor with your forehead. But don't worry about that. Meet yourself where you are at. 3 breaths. One more inhale, notice tension. Exhale, release. And on your inhale, walk the hands back, up, and in. Last bit of active mobility here. Level 1, hands on the floor by your hips. Level 2, hands floating. I'll start with my hands on the floor. Keep the spine upright, firm the belly, firm the outer hips. On your inhale, lift the left heel. On your exhale, release. On your inhale, lift your right heel. Exhale, release. So we're going to go back and forth a few times. Your inhale, lift, and your exhale, you lower. Inhale, lift, feel the hip flexor engage, activate the quad. Exhale, lower. You might stay with the hands on the floor. If you want to challenge yourself, float your hands. Then it gets really hard to inhale, lift, exhale, release. Inhale, lift, exhale, release. So just walk back and forth a few times. As much as you can, you'll notice I'm shifting to my right. As much as you can, resist that. So stay straight up and down, firm your belly, firm your outer hips, and can you isolate this movement into the hip flexors? So the quadricep, the hip flexor muscles. Let's go 2 more each side. Left side, right side. This is really hard for me. I'm moving back and forth a lot. Try and limit that. Maybe bring the hands back down to the floor to help. 1 more on the right. Okay, last round we're going to lift and hold. Lift the left foot, hold. Feel the quadricep engage. Kick through the heel, flex through the toes, sit tall, and release. Last one on the right side, lift and hold. Engage the thigh, kick through the heel, spin the toes straight up for 3, for 2, for 1. Release. Come down off your prop, maybe back onto your mat if you moved. Hands behind you, feet fairly wide. And just some windshield wipers. One more time through the knees. Notice where you feel sensation and activation and work in the body. You can take as many of these as you need. If you want more, pause the video and spend some time just moving the hips, moving the legs. If you're ready to move on, we'll meet back on the mat. We're almost done. Give yourself space to lie down, grab hold of the knees and lower yourself onto the floor. We'll take one last bridge pose to open up those hip flexors. So feet about hips width distance. Plant the feet on the floor, tickle the heels, roll the tailbone up first, and then one vertebra at a time. Press into the feet, lift the hips into your bridge. Again, create that posterior pelvic tilt, so that tailbone rolling down towards the heels, the pubic bone rolling towards your face. Squeeze the heels towards the glutes, engage the hamstrings, maybe walk the shoulders and the arms underneath the body to lift the chest just a bit more. Deepen the breath. So 2 more full breaths. One last inhale. And slowly, one bone at a time, release the spine all the way to the floor. We'll set up for Shavasana. If you have blocks or blankets handy, or books rather, you might grab them to go underneath the legs. That can help release the hip flexors just a bit more. Draw the knees into the chest. Curl the forehead close. Give yourself a big squeeze. Take a full inhale. And exhale, release, Shavasana, final resting pose, heels to the corners of your mat, arms comfortably wide, palms face up. Broaden across the chest, lengthen the back of the neck. Close your eyes. Take as long as you need here in Shavasana. This is your opportunity to give back to yourself. Get so caught up in doing, in achieving, in accomplishing. So for the next few minutes, or however long you have or need, give yourself the gift and the experience of simply being. Being alive, being breathed, being held and supported by your mat, by the earth, by your community, your loved ones. Not for anything that you've done, but rather just because you are. Formally end our practice together here, but I invite you to spend as long as you'd like in Shavasana. With great gratitude, with great love. Thank you for your practice, your commitment, your compassion.